Hey everybody, I'm Haroon Hamid. I'm the CEO of the Duality Companies, Inc., which has a number of products, one of which is a finance product, which we'd like to show you today.
Hey, and I'm Mark Ratcliffe. I'm VP of Sales and Marketing along with Haroon, and very excited to spend some time looking at finance today. Haroon, I know you pulled some reports, right? Should we jump right in and see what we got?
Well, let's do it. Let me share my
right.
screen.
Cool.
So just beginning with the interface, how I generally use this interface, which is definitely in contrast to Mark's strategy. It's a short-term strategy. There's obviously risk to it, but if you are interested in day trading and want to try to maximize your return, in a few hours, generally, I think that it's entirely possible, and it's something that I'm able to do, is generate at least 10 to 15% of return in about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, between the hours of say 8:45 a.m. And around 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It takes a little bit of time to research the stocks that you might be interested in. What I generally do is start on the stock analysis page and look at the most active options. Over here, you'll get the most traded options of the last 24 hours, and you would look, kind of scan some of these, see if the trading volume and the price, maybe some of the most recent movement is kind of favorable or something that interests you. You go ahead and type that stock in here. Let's just type in NVIDIA. At that point, you can go ahead and look at the various graphs. If you think that the stock is kind of plateauing, or if it's on its upswing, you can kind of make some general observations about where you think the stock might be heading from here. After that, I generally pick a stock after I've looked at 5 or 7. After I've looked at 15 or 16 of them, about 7 or 8 that I'm interested in pulling reports on. And I'll pull reports on about 7 or 8 that morning, and you'll get a report, something like this. This was something we just pulled. We pulled one on Spirit and one on Boeing, this will take a large amount of financial data and make projections, across the 3 financial statements, using historical data, real-time news data, and then share price projections based on critical factors and the likelihood that they would, come to pass in various time frames. And they are pretty accurate. I mean, in my experience, they're at least 75% accurate. And based on that, I like to do trades using options, simple trades, just buying or selling calls or puts with anywhere between 2 to 4 week expiration dates and about $7 to $10 or $7.5 to $10 below their current trading price. If it's a call or a put, I would do the same, but on the other side. Then kind of monitoring the market, immediately putting some good till canceled orders in at I start out optimistic at around 50% profit, and before the right at marketing opening bell or just before that, and if it seems to be trending that way, you can realize sometimes a 50 to 60% gain in the short term. But if it's not going as expected, I quickly, change that to a 25%, and then even a 10 or a 5%, depending on over 4 investments in that day. I also, if 1 out of 4 will sometimes start tracking in the opposite direction, and if I'm in the red, I'll quickly go ahead and get out of that stock. If I'm not comfortable with a short term, the way that it's going in the first 30 minutes or so, I'll just get out of the stock at a 3 to 5% loss. But averaged over the various investments, I think it's easy to pull a 12.5% return in about 2 hours. And that is my strategy. I'm gonna off to you, Mark.
Yeah, well, I like your strategies. One thing we agree on, Haroon, which is good till canceled orders. They are some of my favorites as well. The difference, I think, between Haroon and I's approach really just depends on lifestyle and choice. So I'm very got a lot of children in my household, and they keep me very busy. And I don't have like a ton of time to be in there, constantly checking what's going on. If you can do that, that's cool. Because like Haroon was saying, you can turn around those kind of quick strategies. I work more in the sort of 30 to 45 day zone because I have maybe a couple of minutes a day to check what I'm doing. So the beauty of this type of tool is you can use it for both strategies. Like Haroon's in there in it deep, watching it, particularly in the mornings. I'm coming in here maybe once a day for 5 minutes. So when I look at these reports, we saw this one, Spirit. The great one there is that it's a cheaper stock, right? It's a couple of bucks. Boeing's up there in the higher, well, not super high. I mean, it's 160. It's not like it's up there in that like $500 zone or something like that.
Yeah.
But as I look at the price projections for Boeing, what I'm seeing here is like some high likelihood of prices, some high confidence in this sort of 1 month zone that it's going to be at sort of $175. So for me, what I'm typically doing in situations like that is I would sell a put. I'd probably sell a put around the current stock price, like a little bit out of the money, just to give myself a high probability of success, because I know the stock's going to keep going up. That put is slowly going to reduce in value, and I'm going to collect essentially that theta or that insurance money, really is what I'm doing over the next 30 to 45 days. And now where Haroon and I agree is on that good till cancel. I'm also a lover of taking 50% profit. So I'll set a good till canceled order just to clear that put out when it's hit its 50% profit mark. And I can do that because then that's going to free up that capital and I can use it for another trade. So what I'm typically doing is I've got lots and lots of short option strategies and lots of stocks going on all at the same time and just collecting that money day to day. If I look at something like a Spirit, this is kind of an interesting report too, because if we look now, its price isn't changing that much over like quite a while. So this is probably one that I would sell a strangle on. I'd probably sell it out of the money put and call either side and just let that stock run in its range. And I'm making money every day as those puts, the put and call get cheaper. And I'm going to check it like once a day. And I'm going to do my good till cancel order to take my 50%.
I think that report that you just pulled up is a great example of, sometimes based on the strength of the data that we get regarding critical factors, sometimes the percent likelihoods can be lower than expected. And so, like I think both of us generally try to focus in on reports that the data is strong enough that we get really high likelihoods of gains in our or losses, whatever it is, in our target selling time. So for me, it might be 1 to 3 days. I look for really high percent likelihoods of that stock price and probably like $2 or $3 gains. Whereas we could also do it in the long term is the way you do it, probably.
Either way, here's the unifying factor. We both believe in stop losses and good till cancel orders. Those are really going to help you out. And whether you're got that time to be really checking it and really in there, or if you're more of that like once a day, once every other day type of checker, Duality Finance is going to give you those price projections based on that huge meta-analysis that it's doing of all the material out there using its AI technology. So Haroon, any final thoughts? We'll send this one out. We'll do another one next week if you're up for it.
Let's do another one next week and the week after.
All right. Sounds good. Well, we'll talk to everybody soon. It's good to see you, Haroon.
Thank you.